We chilling. We're just hanging out on live. How about that? Let's just sit and watch your show. So this is not one of my usual lives just because I just haven't had, I have the scripts for my new moon and full moon readings that I have to post, but I just haven't been in this space where I've had the capacity to do it and do it in a way that I feel like I can show up the way I want to. So I just finished writing my reflections and contemplations last night, and then I like time to put it in the graphics, and then also I like to do those readings when I have a little more downtime, or just like know that it's going to be mostly quiet in here. But as Indy's up, I'm gonna just chill with you guys and chit chat on live for a little bit as I'm undoing some of her twists. I want to be able to style her hair, and I was able to detangle it last night. So this is just us chilling on live. So this is kind of like an Ask Me Anything session, as well as life update. So the life update is the area that I live in is pretty unsafe these days. So I've been feeling like I've had to be in my house. Indy, come back. Where do you want? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Give me 1 second, guys, but stay locked. Yeah, you guys gonna see everything is kind of, you know, real in here, but what's up? You want a snack? Gummies. Okay. All right, so let's do this together. I'm gonna go get the phone. Can I put you down so I can see you for a second? All right, y'all. So I am actually gonna take you guys and just reset up everything over by the kitchen area, because I did promise Indy that I was gonna make some gummies for her, as she has been a little under the weather as well. So you guys can be there. And we will be here. Keep your stairs, madam. And I want to make sure you can hear me. I'm going to get the tripod for this. And that is what a day in the life of being a toddler mom is. You basically kind of have to roll with the punches and surrender to a lot of things and a lot of frustrations. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this. And also, it's kind of like I wanted to kind of have a small conversation about why parents decide to go on lives or be on social media with their children. And there's a few reasons. So one reason is your children want to do what they see you doing. And if you enjoy being a content creator or influencer or being on social media, your children naturally will want to do those things with you. Indy pulled out these molds, and that's how I knew that she wanted to do the sea moss today. So that's one thing. The other thing is, we are all, as a stay-at-home mom, you're literally working from home and figuring out how you can create income from home, and being able to speak to people across the world is probably the best way you can reach lots of people at one time. So that's a big reason why we choose to create content from home. Here you go, baby. Do you want to help me make the sea moss gummies? Okay, I'm gonna put these here for you to eat, right next to your right next to this pan because the stove isn't on. Here, take your stairs. And yeah, so that's really it. So this is really just like a life update. Many of you guys know, if you've watched my previous videos, that I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a wellness entrepreneur, and also I do brand partnerships because I have somewhat of a small following that like what I do. They like seeing me create things, work on my apothecary, which is why I'm making the sea moss gummies, because I also make sea moss gel. Um, and also I'm an actress. I'm a SAG actress, so I do some odd gigs of background right now on set. But honestly, of course, you know, to be a established actor, you don't want to be doing that. But again, when you're in a situation where you have to take care of your family and make income, you have to make decisions that can help everyone. So that's a big reason why a lot of people even make the decision of being home and content creating, because that's the way they can keep their children safe and not have to put their kids in daycare. And also, it's a way that their kids can spend time and bond with them. Like you guys are going to see, me and Indy are going to make some sea moss. So to make sea moss gel, you first need the sea moss. So I am going to grab that. I have a jar of sea moss right here. And I have an open jar, but since this is going to be a video that's on the feed, I figure I might as well show you what my sea moss gel looks like. So it looks like this, and just pop open a new one. So I seal it so tight. And then there's the sea moss, fresh raw sea moss. So to make sea moss gel, you need that. Ooh, do you want to hold the sea moss or look at it? Just be careful. You need agar-agar, and I like to put citric acid. So the citric acid right here. And the more you cook, the more stuff you have in your pantry. So it becomes a lot harder to find things. So I have to find the agar-agar, and then you also use juice. So you're basically blending the sea moss shell with juice. You can juice fresh juice. Right now I'm just going to use some orange juice I have in the fridge. And because she's had like the sniffles, orange juice will be really good because it has vitamin C. It's going to help boost her immune system. And actually I have some spirulina, so I might even add a bit of that. So it might be like a green ocean color. Fine. You feel fine? You're not sick no more? No. Okay, that's great, Indy. I think you still should get the sea moss though. Alright, so I don't know. Orange juice. I actually also have some apple juice, some Martinelli's to be exact. My favorite type of apple juice. I don't know what they put in it, but it just be hitting. Okay. Apple juice. You want apple juice in it too? Should we put apple juice? Yeah, she gave me that look. You got that Martinelli's. And feel free to ask me any questions because I'm just pretty much talking to myself. Also, what other? So I have the spirulina right here. So I'm going to add some of this in there. So far, here's the ingredients, guys. We got the sea moss. You can add any type of superfood. I'm going to add some spirulina, some orange juice, and some apple juice. So they're fruity gummies. You also need to make sure you have a mold for them. You want this bowl? Here you go. You're gonna need a mold, a few of them. I actually have a bunch of them. You can basically choose the mold, the size of the gummies you want to make. Because I make sea moss, I really love using ocean themed molds. So these bigger molds both are ocean themed, and then I also have some standard gummy bear molds. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so why can I not find anything in this cabinet right now? You know what? I actually am really sad because I just realized I might be out of agar-agar, and that's like the main ingredient to make sea moss gummies. I do have some wait, this is baking powder, but I know I have some arrowroot starch. I'm gonna have to use the little toddler stick. Whew. Okay, let's see. All right, the girl is down bad. Like, I can't even find, oh, babies, tapioca starch. So this is my first time doing it with tapioca starch because it's a thickener, so I'm praying that it works out. I really was trying to get a gelatin texture. Sea moss is already a jelly, but to make gummies, you need something to hold it. But wish me luck. I'm going to work with what I got. So I'm going to turn the camera like this because now Indy's doing what she's doing. And the cat in the back. And I was going to make pancakes earlier, and that did not happen. So I'm going to rinse the butter that's been in this pan out. And since I don't have all the actual ingredients I usually use to make this, this is really kind of us experimenting together, making sea moss gummies with tapioca starch. I know I don't sound hopeful about it because it's a little testy. Andy, do you want some more of these? She went back to watch her show, so got me up from what I was doing to do this. And then said, I don't want to be part of it. Here you go. All right, so now let's really get it started. So you want to start with the juice. I'm going to blend half a cup of Martinelli's with half a cup of apple juice in a pot. And of course, I can't find anything in this kitchen today. Guess what? My measuring cup is in the fridge with the pancake mix I was going to make earlier. Fun. So we are going to guesstimate it. And I'm going to use a regular cup. So this cup filled is an 8-ounce cup. So we are going to work with this. And I'm going to pour 4 ounces of this in the cup. And 4 ounces of apple juice, specifically Martinelli. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put the stove on because I need it to heat up already. And I'm gonna add that straight into the pot, all these things. So in the meantime, I'm going to rinse out the molds I know I'm gonna use as I make this with you guys. So once your molds are clean, you want to dry them off. I have a towel right here. just to make sure there's no water, because of course that will affect how the mold takes to the product. Yeah, I'm so happy I went in and cleaned this. There's a lot of grooves in the molds, so you want to make sure they're just super clean. Alright, and there we go. So now we have the molds ready. We have the pot ready. It's heating up. And I'm already going to just pour this cup into the pot, the juice. Once the juice is in the pot, I'm going to add the sea moss. And this, you can guesstimate it. I'm probably going to use like 2 to 3 tablespoons of it, which is like a clump of it like that. Then, I'm really praying about this tapioca starch. I mean, it makes boba, right? It should be fine. You about to make cookies at 2 a.m. It's not 2 a.m. my time. Thank you. Hi, it's not 2 a.m. And I'm not making cookies. I'm making sea moss gummies for my daughter who isn't feeling too good. She feels better now. She just told us on live. She said she feels great. But she did have the sniffles and a little cough the last few days. So I just kind of want to help with some more preventative care or care while she's getting over it so it doesn't come back. So right now the stove is like on 5. It's on medium. And I'm using this just to kind of mix up the sea moss. I'm gonna move this a little closer so you guys can see it, or even do that. I'm mixing the sea moss with the orange juice and apple juice. And then usually I add about just like 1.5 tablespoons of agar-agar, because if you add too much, it almost makes it like hard, like chewy, and not gummy. Like you want to be able to have it bounce back like when you squish it. So I'm going to just play with the tapioca starch and play it by like moment to moment, see how it's doing in the pot, how much I should add. But I'm probably going to start with at least 1.5 tablespoons. And if you guys have any questions, please ask. This live was originally going to be like a catch-up of me. I was going to do Indy's hair, like take her twist out, as we talk about motherhood and parenting. So what time is it where you live at? Just guess. Guess. It is still later in the day. It is dark in the house, but it's not 2 a.m. So what I'm seeing now is heat coming off of the pan, and you're starting to see the bubbles because the sea moss is blending in with the orange juice. You see little bubbles like that? It's blending with the orange juice and apple juice. You know, when I bought this tripod stick, I really thought this height would be good enough, but now I'm realizing I should have got the 60-inch stick. Because this 42-inch one is not giving what it's supposed to give. Because I really want it to be like here, so you could just be at eye level. I'm not like... And you guys know which one it is. It's the Atom Tech, the one that's all viral on, it went viral on TikTok. So now I'm gonna add a little spirulina to make it a superfood gummy. Well, it's already superfood gummy with sea moss, but extra superfood. So with this, it is a powder. Look how beautiful and green that is. It's like earth green. I am going to wash this off because you never want to like get any contaminants in jars like these, because these live, like you can smell it. It's like algae. You don't want to make any mold or anything producing this. Alright, so now take the spoon, a little powder. I'm being dramatic with the shaky, shaky, shakies. And now it's going to be this great green color. And because it already has yellow and orange in it from the juices, it might actually turn like that sea blue, which is what I've been able to do with my other sea moss jar. I'm actually going to show you guys that while this kind of continues to warm together. So this jar has been in the fridge for a while, so don't judge me as you see that some of the sea moss and water has separated. It's also the jar partially froze and then partially didn't. So I have turmeric sea moss in here, so I've added turmeric as the infusion and then the spirulina, and it has this really cool kind of mixed tone color from both of the, yeah, colors mixing together in the jar. Alright, so also what gives sour gummies that sour taste is the citric acid. So sometimes people make the gummies completely and just roll it around in citric acid. I don't mind adding some citric acid in it because it helps preserve when you're making gummies. It's a natural preservative. So for me, making sea moss gel, being able to use something like citric acid to naturally preserve it, as opposed to adding other preservatives or a bunch of chemicals, I prefer this. And citric acid is very tart, like to taste. Like I have, look how many crystals I have on my hand. Wow, it's just straight up sour. So I'm just gonna shake a little because you don't really need much. Hi, Cobra. So to those joining, Cobra, I'm making sea moss gel, and I added spirulina in it, and I actually don't have the agar-agar I was planning to use to make it. So I'm working with what I got, and I'll be using tapioca starch and praying to God that it blends together. And if not, I mean, it's still in juice, so I feel like my baby's gonna enjoy it. All right, so good and bad is happening in here. The spirulina is not properly blending with the rest of it, but the good thing is it kind of makes a cool effect that I think is going to be cool on the gummies and still healthy. So it's doing that, guys, not the vibes. So as you can see, it's pretty warm together, and that's very inappropriate. I don't know why you're asking me that. Actually, I'm not close to my father at all, and I just think to even ask that of somebody is really disrespectful. So let's move along on the live, and let me see if I can block this person. And I deleted the comment. that's another thing. It's just really a struggle when you want to show up online and create, and then people are saying really strange, weird things. That's truly a reflection of the state of the world, right? Because the world is just, we have to remember that everything we choose to do, be, say, think is what creates this world. So when we choose to be evil or be inappropriate, that's what the world becomes. This is why sex sells. This is why the influences of certain things just reign supreme, is because that's what society has prioritized, unfortunately. All right, so now let's get into this tapioca starch. It can be very messy, which is why it's in this bag. So about a tablespoon. I'm going to do 2 because some of this stayed on the spoon. So I'll just do 2 clumps. Oh. Okay, I'm going to turn it down because it's really hot. Okay. 1 second, guys. I got to read this. So one thing I just noticed is, so the tapioca gel is definitely tapioca gelling, as you guys can see. But a major step is being able to put it in regular water first, blending it, and then adding it. I just put it in the pot just a while ago, and that's why it clumped up. So taking some out. There are ways that you can fix this while you're doing it. And there we go. So this is gonna be an interesting batch for sure. Hello. Hi, the most beautiful cook I've ever seen. Oh, thank you so much. Now if I could get the skill sets together right now, because okay, so we're gonna make it work. Now I'm going to use that same cup I used for the apple and orange juice. I'm gonna add about maybe 2 to 3 ounces of water, just enough to blend the 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch in it. Okay, this water is room temperature. Should it be hot? That's hot. So yeah, this is fine. So I put 1 tablespoon. And I am definitely going to be looking up a little more just to make sure no more comments like that come through, because that was very disturbing. Okay, so here we go. Here is the consistency of tapioca starch and water. You guys can see that. And then you add this into the pot. So this is what it looks like now. Now that I've added the tapioca starch back into the pot, and it's a natural thickener, I am going to turn the pot back on. And the spirulina pieces have gotten smaller. It's natural to see little bits of spirulina throughout the whole pot, but you also end up seeing more when it clumps up together, some bigger pieces, but it adds to the aesthetics. I'm gonna turn it up a little just because I kind of want it to coagulate quicker so that you guys can see it. the spatula. Okay, so while this is doing its thing, I am going to close everything down. We have enough citric acid. Putting this away. Putting the spirulina away and the juice away. And of course, the Cole Apothecary sea moss. So if you guys ever want to try sea moss gel, you can order from my sea moss shop at withlovecole.com/Cole Apothecary, or just type in coleapothecary.com. Both domains should work. So yeah, you can get a jar of my natural sea moss. This sea moss is plain sea moss. All my jars used to not even have citric acid in it because I wanted to make sure to keep the sea moss, the integrity of sea moss shell and its nature and its rawness. But due to the fact that I do ship it now, adding just a little bit of citric acid makes me feel good about sending it out to you guys, knowing that you'll get it, be able to have it for a few weeks before your sea moss starts to go bad. All right, so now let me show you guys what the pot is doing. So now you see it's starting to become jelly. So it's turning lighter in color and it's thickening. And then look, this piece right here, this is from when I just added the tapioca starch straight into the pan. And as you see, the powder didn't fully break up there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah. So I'm gonna just do that right now. Don't try that at home, but just kicking it out the pan. There's a few more pieces, one right there. All right, there we go. I'm not gonna get everything out perfectly. This was trial and error. This is the first time I've done it like this, and also I'm Human Design 3-5 profile, so the 3 and the 3-5 is all about being able to try different things and experiment, and also it's about the fact that the first 30 years of your life, if you have a third line profile type in Human Design, is about experimenting and trying and testing, because that's the only way you'll know if you like something or you don't. So with that, we make a lot of mistakes, we learn from them, and we move forward. So I'm actually really excited because my experiment is working and I see that this is still coming out pretty decent. I do want to add some sugar because yes, it does have the juice, but it is supposed to be a candy gummy. So I am going to add maybe, I have my brown sugar right there. I'll just add it to taste. And the sugar is also going to help with that kind of coagulation chewiness. Okay. There we go. I didn't add too much, but I'll show you guys. The brown sugar's in there now. The color's gotten lighter. I could tell it's starting to stick to the pan. So this is pretty much ready to start putting in jars. I'm actually going to turn the stove down to like 4. Whipping that work. You see, you can tell from the sides of the pan that it's starting to become gelatin. So I'm actually going to turn it off now. I'm going to just put these things away first and then turn it off. All right, turned off. So now, we got the molds. 1 and 2. All right. I know this is gonna make a good amount. 2. 1 and 2. Okay, so I love this consistency. When it starts doing that, Oh wait, you guys can't see. When it starts doing this, you see how it's kind of like dripping slowly but starting to stay? That's perfect gummy consistency to start filling the mold. So there are a few ways that you can fill a mold for this. I am going to show you guys just like a really quick way I'm going to do it. And I really like to pour it out into the mold, but I'm just going to do it with the spoon. And I try to start in the center, because you'll see as I'm pouring this, this is going to start to quickly cool. And when it cools down, it turns into jelly. So you want to get it in the mold while it's still pretty warm and spreadable. And I like to work with it a pretty thin because, again, it cools down fast. I know sometimes people don't mind that jelly consistency and they use a syringe, but sometimes it actually starts to get cool in the syringe. So you just want to make sure all the mold is cool. And I like to do different infusions. I've done black seed oil and apple. I've done apple ginger black seed. And I really like that combo. So if you see it on a shelf somewhere, someone hears me say that, then you know that's where they got it from. But hey, I'd rather people make it and help somebody else. So let's see, it's already thickening. And then I just kind of push it around the mold. There you go. And that's how I filled my mold. I'm going to show you guys like that. You see it? And then I'm going to do this mold now, which is a little deeper. So this one's a harder mold, which might be good for starting because you can actually hold it and do it over the stove and you can fill it directly. Let me move the camera so you guys can see me do that. Just joined. What are you making? I am making sea moss gel, and I've added some spirulina, some apple juice, orange juice to just make like a fruit gummy with it. And also it has, ooh, see, this piece already came jelly. It also has, so it's sea moss, tapioca starch, apple juice, orange juice, spirulina, and sugar, brown sugar, to make it a little sweeter. Period. And this is it. So I'm gonna just make sure these are full. There we go. Don't really love when it makes extra, but like I'd rather the whole mold be full, even if stuff gets on the top. And so this tray is done. I can't really tilt it. And actually I could put these molds in the freezer while I make the last two with this. Or the fridge rather. About 20 to 30 minutes in the fridge and the mold will be completely formed. And you'll have gummies. And Indy will have her treat. Okay, see, this one's already starting to settle. Like I'm shaking it and it's kind of staying in place because the mold is already doing good. Is it healthy gummies or just some tasty gummies? It's actually really healthy gummies. So the gummies Let me show you guys. My daughter, as you hear, she says she's feeling well, but she still has a little bit of a cough. And sea moss is a sea algae that has 92 of 102 minerals the body needs. It's anti-mucus, antiviral, and antiviral. Anti-mucus, antiviral. There's another antifungal. So it really is helping with cleaning the insides and like just helping your gut microbiome. So adding it with spirulina as well as fruit juice and other things that are really going to be beneficial, you can take one of these. Cool, yes, and it's really easy to make. You'll have this video, but there's tons of like shorter videos, 5 to 10 minutes, that can show you how to make this very easily. The sea moss gel itself, you can buy from someone who makes sea moss gel, because you have to make the sea moss into gel first, and then you put that gel into the gummy. So sea moss gel, I also make that, which is why I have so much sea moss at home. And I mentioned earlier, but like it's in my shop. So if you ever like look at my page, withlovecole.com, you'll be able to shop my sea moss gel from there, and then get some so that you can make some gummies for your kids at home. But also you can check out any farmer's market and just make sure you get it from a place that you can trust. That's all that matters. All right, so this pan is cooling, so I'm gonna just add a little more heat so I can make sure to put the last bit of it. Thank you so much, 550 KT. I'm gonna add, and I added spirulina, that's why it has spots and stuff, but I like that because those are all, it adds a little texture and color and fun into doing something that's super, super healthy. All right, so we have these gummy molds to fill. I'm just gonna rinse them out really quick. And like the previous set, I just dried the mold out. Mold. I feel like I'm saying mole, like a mole instead of mold. This is for home, and this is much smaller. I see lots of droplets, but I'm not gonna stress it because we're out of paper towels. We just ran out, and a lot of our dish rags are in the wash. So I gotta make this one work right now as I finish this up. Oh, actually, I'm gonna grab one real quick. And yeah, I think the person who mentioned they would make it for their 3-year-old, that's like the perfect age. Like getting them into like superfoods at a very young age, toddler stage especially, when kids tend to be pickier about food, I think it's a great time to start just, you know, getting them adjusted to it. So now I have this remaining, and I have these molds. So you're gonna see me do it the way I do it when I'm usually in a rush, which is often. I just pour it in the middle like that. Not too much, enough that I can like still spread it around, and I just quickly do like this. And it's like, you just get it done quick. You get a lot of the gummy mold covered. And then the corners, I kind of just slowly try to fill it. And you'd be surprised how much just a cup of juice makes in gummies. Like I only used a cup of juice total, mixed with a few tablespoons of the sea moss and 2 tablespoons in water, with about maybe 2 to 3 ounces of water of the tapioca starch. And to be honest, I really like the way the tapioca starch fills the gummies better than using agar-agar. So the taste test is going to be the true determining factor, which one I keep in my recipe book. But this is pretty cool. Period. So we now have just the edges. So I'm going to move this out the way. Tapioca. And look, this bag of tapioca starch, I probably paid maybe $4 to $6. I can't remember specifically, but it couldn't have been any more than that. It probably was less. So it shows that you can make really organic, healthy things at home and not need to have too much or do too much. Yes, Cindy. Are you excited to try your gummies? Oh, you like it? You want to see what Mama's doing or no? Oh, yeah. I like your pie. You love the pie? I'm not making pie. All right, so I do have some extra. I'm gonna get really creative. Y'all, this is like real. You seeing me in real time do this. So this mold is full. So look, I'm just scraping the top off back into the pan. And it's perfect. And then now I'm gonna fill a little more in this one. And I still have some left. And it moves, so it's like kind of like when I'm doing this, I think of it like I'm just guiding water around the gummies, like, well, guiding the gummy stuff like it's water. So there we go, a little bit more. So now we have, and look, as you guys can see, it's, ooh, I did kind of get a little crazy because it wasn't fully molded. So the top, I just kind of messed up there. But as you see, it's not really moving around because it's starting to already form. And I actually need another mold because I still have gummy juice. So I've already filled 4 molds with this cup of juice. So as soon as I finish the last mold, we'll check on the first mold together. More sea stuff. So this one is boats and whales, this mold. Hooray! And I think this mold will be able to hold the last of it in there. I would love to be like a really neat cook, and I'm working on it, but I just try to be efficient. So I tend to move pretty quickly. All right, and then you're working with heat, so you kind of have to move quick. So can you guys, yeah, you guys can see. So then I'm just gonna, this one I'm gonna try to be a little more exact. Here we go. Okay. So with molds, you kind of want to pull the pan away right before you think it's full, because it's going to continue to move and fill the mold. Very, very happy about this. It pretty much filled this whole mold except for one. And if I really wanted to, I could do this. Scoop the rest of this into that last mold. There we go. And then this mold does have more right there. Poop. There we go. So that was all of it. All the gummy. And this is the last mold. So you see how it's like really gelatin. So I'm going to move this into the fridge, and then I'm going to take out that first mold so we can look at it together and see how it's set. So this first mold is still setting. As you guys can see, I can now hold it like this and it's still staying pretty much together. So I'm gonna put it back in the fridge. It probably still needs another 15 to 20 minutes sometimes, because I'm still kind of putting it in with it being warm. It takes maybe a while to get cool first and then to chill. So I'm gonna probably put it in for another 30 minutes, and then I'll post in my community post what the end result looks like, and also make it the cover photo for this live so that you guys see the finished product. I'll probably put all the molds out and just take a quick picture. But yeah, that is how you make hooray! That is how you make sea moss gummies. So if you ever want to buy sea moss gel to make the sea moss gummies, feel free to check out my shop, withlovecole.com/coleapothecary, or just coleapothecary.com, and Cole is spelled C-O-L-E, so Cole Apothecary. And yeah, I'm excited for you to try some. This can work with any of the sea moss gels you see in the store, or you can even buy raw sea moss from me and make the sea moss gel yourself, which is great to take on its own. You can add it in soups, smoothies, teas. You can bake it into things. I've had someone make a sea moss infused strawberry cheesecake. So many things you can make with sea moss, and basically it's like having a live vitamin added into your food. So if you take it as a supplement, you can take sea moss daily. You can take 2 to 3 tablespoons of sea moss in a serving. So yeah. Enjoy, guys. I'm going to end this live, and I'll see you in my next video. I have some videos coming up. It's just life has been lifing. And again, I don't know if you guys, whoever's been in and out of this live, like, people just say really interesting things to you on social. So balancing motherhood and also showing up on live, you kind of are mindful of when, where, how, and what you want to be, just because of the world as it is right now. But also, part of me showing up as a content creator is to create the world that I want to see and do things that I love with you guys. So peace. I'll see you in my next video.